welcome, welcome. Ooh, I love it. It's such a wonderful Wednesday morning on the island of Tobago, and I'm so happy that you're joining us. Welcome to Brunch, a taste of Tobago. I am your host, JW Moore, also known as J Soul, and I will be kicking it with you. Yes, 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 yes. I'm going to be taking you through 2 wonderful hours of lovely programming, lovely segments. And one of the things that I want to let you know is that you are special and you are wonderfully made. And I feel that somebody out there needs to hear this. And I'm hoping that by viewing the program, that we are at least making someone's day. Someone is feeling a little bit lighter, a little bit happier, and ready to take on the day. Brunch is coming to you live, Tobago Updates Network Television. We are also live on the Amplia Network 102 and, of course, Facebook and YouTube. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, let me just welcome you. Welcome you to the Brunch set. Welcome you to this lovely program. And let me just tell you a bit about what's going down. So our first segment is Good Stuff. And so Good Stuff seeks to empower, it seeks to educate and also highlight the wonderful things that our sons and daughters of the soil are doing, the wonderful way that they are impacting the world. And so our good stuff is first. And so I take you now to the Newsday. Bridgelal debuts Color Me Caribbean. A media release from the gallery said Bridgelal is an autodidact artist from Trinidad and Tobago. Growing up, he always had a love for art and creative projects. However, life took him down a different professional path into the corporate world. 8 years ago, he decided to embrace his real passion and he started painting and sketching creative outlets to deal with the stress of a demanding career. All right. And he started working in oils, but now mainly works with acrylics, watercolors, and charcoal. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Anil Avery Bridgelal's debut exhibition, Color Me Caribbean. It's a local something. It's currently on display at Arnhem's Arts Gallery in Larro, Maine. So Anil Bridgelal is definitely, expressing himself, expressing his culture, expressing the region, the Caribbean region as a whole. And by the way, good morning to the Caribbean. Good morning to our sister Isle of Trinidad. And of course, good morning to the world. And thank you for viewing Brunch, a Taste of Tobago. I now take you to the Trinidad Guardian. Breast and oncoplastic surgeon Dr. Rajen Rampal, supporting women with breast cancer to feel whole again. Oh, yes. The mortality rate of breast cancer in Trinidad and Tobago has been estimated approximately 23 per 100,000 women, with 1 in 9 women developing breast cancer in their lifetime. However, there exists a less obvious battle that many women diagnosed with breast cancer are forced to contend with, aside from obvious primary concerns of survival. They are grappling with the decision whether to undergo mastectomy, which is the removal of the breast, is often a grievous and difficult time of turmoil for many women here in TNT. Yes, the struggle is real. There's so many external parties often diminishing this mental and emotional battle to concern for the aesthetics. So many times there is that choice. It's really horrific for a breast cancer patient, a breast cancer survivor, and the stories So many of the stories are uplifting, but the challenges that are placed, is very common to many survivors. And we're going to explore just a bit more of that as we go on with the program. Next, I take you to the Daily Express. Calpi in the fast lane. Calpi in the fast lane. Christian Calpi is putting the musical pedal to the metal in Southeast Asia. The new Calypso pop act continues to shout his family name across the globe, this time delivering a high energy set that accelerated pulses at the Formula One Singapore Airlines Singapore Grand Prix on September 15th. Calpi and his band, which indulges in reggae, also reggae, calypso, and pop, and includes the Sangre-Grande-born musical director of Joshua Salcedo on keys and bass, and Kwame Morrison on guitars, and Ghanaian drummer Joey Wealthyland performs a 45-minute set on the Wharf stage at the 2023 edition of the Grand Prix. So Christian Calpi is definitely doing wonderful things for not just Trinidad and Tobago, but for the Caribbean region. And we just love highlighting these wonderful and uplifting stories, these men and women, these kings and queens, and of course our sons and daughters of the soil who are impacting humanity positively. And I have to speak on something before I leave you. I'm going to get into the rundown. I'm going to tell you a bit about who is on today. But let me just touch on World Mental Health Day. And we celebrated World Mental Health Day yesterday. And the Mental Health Day talks about mental health, of course, showing everyone that mental health matters. It's also a day to let people know that it's okay to ask for help no matter what you are going through. As the theme of World Mental Health Day highlights, mental health is a universal human right. That's why at Mental Health Foundation, we dedicated our time and our efforts to addressing the inequalities in mental health and working towards good mental health for all, not just for some. So we celebrated World Mental Health Day yesterday. We're going to speak a bit more on World Mental Health. I'm just going to tell you a bit about who's on with us today on Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. We're going to speak with Billy Sterling Lewis. This is for our health corner. So you guys keep notes, keep abreast of what's going on. So I just gave you our good stuff segments and I highlighted our sons and daughters. Then we go to our health corner. Billy Sterling Lewis joins us. We're going to be speaking about breast cancer and its effects on mental health. Then we go to our Eye on Bagel feature. My sister Stacey Herbert, marketer, entrepreneur, Main Rich Wines Tobago is here. She's going to be telling us about her wine tasting event, which is going to be held at a Time to Wine establishment, that wonderful establishment. Also, our book club corner, my sister Jewel Green George joins us today. And Jewel is so bubbly. I'm saying her name. I'm actually smiling at some stuff that she told me recently. So Jewel is back with us. She is going to be interviewing Mr. Cleon McPherson. Oh my gosh, Cleon is a powerhouse spoken word poet, author, and composer. And he is going to be on the brunch set for our book club corner today. And of course, our DIY corner is up. It's Wednesday, and we got to have that DIY. We are going to be speaking with Toya Anderson. She is the owner of Toya Designs. She is also a seamstress, and she's going to be on for our DIY segment. So quite a few things happening on Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. But you know what, guys? Let's take a break. Let's regroup. and we're going to be right back with more brunch. See you guys soon.
25 years of real good dashing food, delicacies, and enjoyment. Well, it come around again as we celebrate 25 years of the Tobago Blue Food Festival. This year promises to entice your taste buds again on Sunday, October 15th at Bloody Bay from as early as 10 a.m. All are invited to the celebration filled with craft, games, but most importantly, blue food. This is a brunch-style celebration and will also see the likes of Super Blue, Nyla Blackman, Pretty, Gerard Balfour, Joe Archer, Keyshawn Jack, and Junior Calypso star, The Shay Saul, and more on Sunday, October 15th, 2023. Come celebrate 25 years of the Tobago Blue Food Festival.
Bad girl from Roxborough to Tobago, but if we go in your day clothes, I rate you. Grew up around good vibes and incense. Grew up in hard times that intense. Shut it as you're reaching at the dance. Use the topic as you're reaching at the dance. My girl, go and drop it as you're reaching at the dance. Making use of your talents when you balance back on the duns. Yes, yes. I know, baby. You want a man who take you serious. Not just beat and leave. You're fed up on the streets. Yes, yes, I know, baby. You want a man who take you serious.
With Brunch, a taste of Tobago. Now, guys, I hope that you are situated. I hope that you are ready to take in what's going to happen today. It's a really interesting program. And if you were paying attention, and I hope that you were, we were speaking about mental health. We also touched on breast cancer. And so now we're going to group and we're going to gel the two topics together. And so we are going to be speaking about breast cancer and its effects on mental health. Joining me is Billy Sterling Lewis, Director of Impact Change Concepts. And we're going to have a wonderful conversation this morning. So good morning to you and blessings to you. How are you, my sister?
Good morning. Good morning. You look lovely. I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me on.
You know, I've been waiting to have this discussion for some time now, and I'm hoping that we can really delve in as much as possible. Breast cancer, that's a whole other vibe right there. And then we have the mental health issues that follow. Now, you know, when you receive the diagnosis, it's like a turning point. It's like a turning point in the life of the person who is suffering. Let's delve in. What are some of the impacts that receiving a news of this nature can have on the mental health of a person? Let's start there.
Sure. And that's a great place to start. I will also add to that in so many ways, just the word cancer throws people into a tailspin. That's why in the wellness movement, we try to talk about the big C and take the fear out of the big C. And there are other things that bring fear too, but cancer definitely brings fear, not just for women, but for anyone who receives diagnosis or receives any news that they have to check for something that may be linked to cancer. So, one of the things that happens is, as I just said, fear is one of those first emotions that come up. The person begins to question what they did or didn't do well enough. Immediately, many times they go into, am I going to make it? So, their thoughts of death and life issues coming into play. In that, they often go into what we call secondary losses. So I'll talk about cancer and the mental health implications from a loss perspective, because cancer diagnosis and having cancer is actually a loss. It's a loss of health. That's the primary loss. But the secondary losses come in like, what about my children? What if something happens? And I'm saying all these things, and they've just received the diagnosis. But that is how far the mind tends to go when somebody receives that news. So fear and anxiety, a lot of sadness comes into play. And if we go with what we call the stages of loss or stages of grief that we often use, put forward by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, that initial shock takes hold and the person goes through a lot of other emotions along with the shock. So we have the fear, we have the sadness, we have the anxiety. Sometimes immediately hopelessness sets in. But once there is good support, I'm going to say this up front because we're going to come back to it, I'm sure. Once there's good support, that doesn't have to last long, or it doesn't have to be the full extent of the experience for their journey through cancer, treatment, and recovery.
Yes, and you're speaking so wonderfully because I mean we started with breast cancer as our topic,
Mhm.
but you touched on cancer as a whole and
Yeah.
being diagnosed and
Mhm.
the stress because
Yeah.
it's distressing and we find ourselves just as you said we're going 100 miles per minute
100
and it's
miles.
all of the thoughts, all of the what ifs, all of the how do I's, and all those things come into being there. But the actual breast cancer,
Yeah.
how does this develop? What happens in our bodies that makes this happen?
Sure. Well, I will speak from the wellness perspective since I'm a psychologist and a wellness expert. But we know generally we all have cancer cells in our body and certain conditions. And I'm so glad you asked this question because there's certain internal and external conditions that can cause the cancer cells to increase in their growth. And if not addressed, they can take over and become dangerous. So sometimes we have benign things in our body, lumps or tumors, but sometimes they can become cancerous. What are some of the things that cause that? Let's start with the internal environment. Okay, so from the wellness perspective, we always talk about dysbiosis in the body. We talk about too much toxicity in the body and a lot of alkalinity, acidity, not alkalinity, acidity in the body. And believe it or not, one of the things that contributes to that is the experience of trauma. Research shows this. Many of our women who have gone through cancer diagnosis, treatment, and recovery, and even those that we have lost, many of them have had a trauma history. If we look from the psychological perspective and we look at what we call the ACEs score, the ACE is what we call the Adverse Childhood Experiences, ACE. There is a score that we would have for persons when we're assessing, and persons who have women, so we're talking about breast cancer, although men can also develop breast cancer, but women who have a really high ACE score has been shown statistically and through research to go on to develop lifestyle diseases, of which cancer is one of them. No, it doesn't mean if you have a high ACE score, you will have it, but it's very likely, especially if you have no intervention throughout your life in terms of therapy and health and wellness perspective. So I always say this, and we always say this in the wellness world, um, genetics load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. So we have trauma as a causative factor. We also have environmental things that are taking place. Diet and lifestyle are important. They tend to feed into the development of cancer, breast cancer especially. We know the research continues to show us that products that have a lot of metal, heavy metal in it, so that's why there are a lot of talks against the deodorants with aluminum, other toxic metals, and other toxic materials on a whole, not just metals, tend to feed that. Sugar is another major contributor. So a person who has a lifestyle that is high in sugar, and I'm not just talking about soft drink sugar, because we often tend to say, when we speak to persons, say, well, I don't put a lot of sugar in my tea. That is a small amount of sugar compared to what we're talking about. We're talking about sugar that also comes from refined foods. So that includes your macaroni pie, that includes your whitewashed rice, that includes your bakery goods. And we all, especially in the Caribbean, because part of our Caribbean culture is eating a lot of foods that. So these are some of the things that feed into it. And then we have about 30% of our cancers that are just genetic, in terms of it is not so much a lifestyle issue, it's not so much a trauma issue, but there's something there with the makeup of the body that feeds into it. So there are many causes. And with breast cancer, these have been found to be linked to the development of the breast cancer.
Mentioned lifestyle, and
Mhm.
it's like you're reading my mind right now, because that's where I went straight there.
Mm.
Mary is sole breadwinner, family
Mm.
of, let's say, three, and Mary begins to feel lethargic and out of breath, and Mary decides, oh, let me go and see what is wrong with me. And Mary is diagnosed
Mhm.
with cancer. How does this tie into the rest of the members of the family? What is that like in your
Yeah.
experience?
Well, you asked a few questions earlier. One of them that often happens or comes to the mind of the person who's diagnosed is, what now? What do I do now? And that is a question that goes to the family. They now take on that question. What now? What do we do? And the impact varies based on who is in that family grouping. So, do we have children who are dependent? Sometimes the women may not even share that because they're afraid of causing distress because they're experiencing distress, but having that distress passed on to their children who may not be at the age to understand fully. You also have situations where the children are adult children and maybe going through their own stages and experiences in life. And you have the spouse. In Mary's case, you just mentioned there was a single breadwinner. Maybe she has partners or not, but there are other persons in her circle, her significant others, which would be a friend, her support base, her village, that all will be impacted and will need to come into the journey with her. It's important that we share. I know one of the things I've seen, and having worked with many clients who have gone through situations like this, one of the first things they want to do is, quote unquote, spare their family members from the trauma. And so they don't share. But that could be more disastrous than helpful, because the reality is, first of all, you're carrying a secret. Then you're carrying, well, I would say first you're carrying a condition in your body that has the potential to become deadly if not addressed in promptly and in the most expansive ways. Then you're carrying a secret, and it's not a good secret. This secret is sort of like the secret that people have and carry when they've been arrested. They carry that. It's a burden. It's not a surprise party kind of secret. This is a burden. And then you have to now go through, if you're not sharing, that is, go through the different stages alone. And one of the things what we have found that have helped many cancer and breast cancer survivors make it is the power of their support system. Now, of course, that is one part of it, but we cannot underestimate the value of that. So the power of their support system, but what support can they give if you haven't shared? And I know it seems noble in many instances, or it may be just the fear that is taking over the logical thinking. But it's so important to share. Our doctors often say that. We had a doctor share just recently about prostate cancer, and his point was so important. We do not allow our family members to know what is in the family line. So family members think this is okay, this is new. It's not new. If you don't share, they don't know what they're up against. So sharing becomes important with the family. And those who are able to come along with you on that journey of treatment and doctor visits and just sitting with you and sharing memories in those moments when you need something to lift you up, they can come along and also receive support. So many times only the survivor or the person with the diagnosis, I almost said victim, comes for therapy. But so many times a family approach is very much necessary. So the family goes through this condition with you. You may think this is just my problem. I guarantee you it is not. Because although they may not hurt in the way you hurt, and they may not be able to feel the physical pains that you feel, they hurt and they're feeling pain as well. All right. So it's important to share, allow the family to come into as many as can and as you feel comfortable with, come along the journey with you in the tangible ways and the emotional and moral supportive ways. And if necessary, and whenever you decide to do that, allow them to be a part of any treatment or therapy, psychotherapy approaches that you may engage in.
Yes, and I love the words that you're using, because support is so important. Your family is there along the journey with you. And on that note, we are going to take a break. We're going to be right back with more Brunch, a Taste of Tobago. I have so many questions that I want to ask. So we're going to take a break and we're going to come right back with more on breast cancer and mental health. See you guys soon.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
We are going on a new journey. Tobago now has its very own carnival.
She like loud music and
Platinum touch.
yeah.
But this place is boring enough. We don't even do nothing. Let me go somewhere now.
I really want some new things, yes?
Then look no further. Portmore is the place for you.
Oh, really?
Yes,
you can have anything that your heart desires. Take a look for yourselves. A world of endless opportunities. Feeling hungry? Go get something to eat. Books and stationeries, games, and much more. Portmore, the island's beat.
Back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. Oh, a conversation that I've been waiting for so long. Breast cancer and its effect on mental health. And we're going to delve in just a bit more on what this means, on what this entails. And we are back. Welcome back to you. And thank you for talking with me. Thank you for giving me your time. Billy Sterling Lewis, guys, joins us. For those of you who are just joining, we are speaking on breast cancer and its effects on mental health. And my question, what is the conversation like? Are we more open to discussion where breast cancer is concerned? Tell me your thoughts.
From my observation, it's getting much better. It's getting much better. Now, there's always room for improvement, but we're getting better. Women are more comfortable sharing about what they're experiencing. For instance, we wouldn't easily talk about, although I just put my hand there just so subconscious, we wouldn't talk about what's happening with our breast because it's so sacred. And if something goes wrong with the breast or any of our parts that speak to our femininity, it feels off. It feels, because of the sacredness of these body parts, we feel as if something is wrong with us. And so we have more women, thank God, sharing about their experiences to the point where we have some persons, mostly in the developed world, and I've known of a few, who actually are preventing breast cancer by doing the surgeries because they know their chances are high after running specific tests. We also have that generational discussion about women are now able to talk to younger girls about what it looks like, and not just from the medical perspective, because sometimes the medical mumbo jumbo can cause our young people to get lost, but from that real perspective, from that human perspective, from the female perspective that says, hey, if you feel your breast and there's something going on, come and tell me. Remember, around your period, there's something else going on that may cause some feelings of some lump feels, but still come and say something. That openness is increasing more and more. And then we have the impact of this media that's helping to make the conversation easier. So even sometimes persons may not know how to start or what to say. They have conversation starters that they could find on reputable websites. So the conversation is happening. And I want to talk about this one also, because this is very important, especially the psychological and emotional perspective. The conversation with their spouses and their lovers. Many women go through the body changes as from stage 1 right down to remission and the body changing and healing again. For instance, a woman who has to have her breast removed, that is a major blow to their self-esteem, their self-image, their feelings of femininity. And having that conversation with their spouse or their lover that allows them to hopefully, because there's some women who do experience rejection with breast cancer diagnosis, believe it or not, but with supportive partners, they're able to talk openly about how they feel, about how less sexy they feel, about how less valuable they feel in the relationship. You know, some years ago, I remember encountering a situation where the woman was diagnosed with cancer, and she talked about how much her husband just took his hands off of her. He wouldn't touch her. And it wasn't in a repulsive way, because when she sat and had a conversation with him, he just said, I didn't want to hurt you. I didn't know if you were feeling pain. And when I did see you having painful experiences, I didn't want to add by touching you. And she shared that she had to say to her husband, but I wanted you to touch me. I wanted to still feel like I was sexually satisfying or
And
appealing to you.
attractive.
Um,
Yes.
yes, and attractive. And so these conversations have different purposes, and they happen in different places with different persons, but they are so important.
Yeah, and you're speaking on the human aspect of things, and
Mhm.
sometimes we forget and we leave that's completely out of the conversation. But you're bringing
Yeah.
in the human aspect of things, and that discussion, that openness with your loved ones is so very important. We just have a few seconds more, but before we wrap, um, the importance of breast examinations, going to the doctor. I still know of persons who are not scared, but who are very hesitant when it
Yeah.
comes to going to the doctor. So let's just speak on that. Let's just speak on the importance. Oh my gosh, plead with my kings and queens today on the
Yes. Yes.
importance of going and checking out and making sure that we're all right.
Yes, I love the fact that you say plead with my kings and queens, because you know what? The men can be a part of it as well. And it
Yes.
starts very simply, like I shared earlier. Become familiar with your body. Know what your body feels like. Know what your body smells like when it's hot and sweaty, and when it's just had a shower, when you ate garlic, or when you ate strawberries or broccoli, because it has different scents. It's interesting we're talking about breast cancer, but endometrial cancer is also another one that women go through, and this shows changes. But let's stick with the breast cancer. But know what your body feels like. And one of the ways to do that is to constantly be in contact with your body. As a matter of fact, we teach the power of touch as a healing perspective in psychology, right? But for this one, it's not just loving your body and touching it, but being the first investigator of your body and what's going on. And you can bring your husband and your partner along. They can become a part of knowing what it feels like, know what a period, pre or post period breast looks and feels like. See what's happening. If there's something coming out of your breast, any oozing, white or colorless from your nipples, that's not healthy and that's not normal. And so you want to go check your doctor. If you find burning or itching that is incessant, you want to go and get checked out right away. And listen, there's some persons who still get anxious going to a doctor. If it takes support, if it takes the needs for support, get someone to go along with you and have that open discussion with your doctor. If you're one of those who become so anxious that when you get to the doctor, you can't remember anything, before you get to the doctor, get your journal, your notepad, and write down what you want to say. Write down what you want to ask and walk with your book. Don't be ashamed. And when you go to the doctor, say, Doc, open your book. This is what I want to ask. Because at that time, you're so fearful, you're so anxious, you don't remember stuff. Also, please remember diet and lifestyle. And diet and lifestyle is inclusive of what is eating you. So I say this all the time. Dr. Cindy Trim made this so popular. It is not only what we eat that's destroying us, but also what is eating us. There's so many psycho-emotional issues that are eating away at our peace, increasing cortisol levels in our body, causing high levels of distress. And it feeds into the imbalance that can take place, that can lead to cancer. Remember, I talked about the ACE score, and it's linked with breast cancer and other cancers, right? Now, what you're eating becomes important. If you can go, let me say this quickly. We talk about frequency and energy in the body, not on unhealthy, ungodly talk at all. It's talking about the energy level or electrical level in our bodies. Whole foods give us the highest levels of frequency. That means foods that have not been altered by chemical engineering or destroyed too much by processing and cooking and frying. So as much as you can eat, I love the 80-20 rule. If you're in a cancer diagnosis, you want to go 100% or at least 90-10. Make sure your foods are wholesome. Make sure your foods are live foods. And so you want to put away the can, the bottle, the salted stuff, especially those foods that have no nutrients at all. And then you want to move. You want to have a lifestyle where you are moving. That means walking, exercise. You don't have to become a gym buff, a gym rat, or become buff and or bulky from weightlifting. But you want to have a lifestyle where you are moving. And then the other important thing, believe it or not, is you want to have a lifestyle where there is healthy, loving support. And I've been saying this over and over again, and it's proven. We do this a lot in wellness and psychotherapy. The impact and the power of support on healing and wholeness and even prevention cannot be compared to many other things. So having the power of touch, not just sexual touch. I'm talking about hugs that heal. I'm talking about conversations that relax. I'm talking about just being in the presence of people that add wholeness and healing to your body. These are things that can begin to help you prevent, but also if you're already there, help you on the journey. Please cut out the processed foods, cut out the sugars, cut out the packaged foods. The preschools tell us all the time. I remember my preschool teachers at Montgomery used to always send a message home, no shiny snacks. And we say, okay, we don't give our children any shiny snacks, but we're eating the shiny snacks. They're not good for us either. So if we can limit those things, we have a lot of way that we can get in wholeness and healing.
Yes, and I have nothing else to say. You said it so well. And I want to thank you so much for being a part of Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. Thank you for imparting such knowledge. And I'm hoping that the narrative will change. I'm hoping that the conversations will be positive going forward. So from our family to yours, we wish you blessings, peace and love, and of course, success in whatever you endeavor to do. We are going to take a break, guys. We are going to be right back with more Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. But before I do that, our trivia question for today. There is a wonderful novel that was written, and it was based on Tobago. What was the name of that novel? So you guys get to typing. We're going to be right back with our eye on bagel feature. Stacey Herbert joins us when Brunch returns. See you guys soon.
So your car break down.
Oh, no, not again.
And you're worried paying a wrecker could mean a pocket breakdown too. But when you're insured with Tatil, no stress.
Yes!
A Tatil motor policy has lots of benefits that protect your pocket. Like free roadside assistance. That's free 24/7 every time, as many times as you need. Tatil, where people are people. A member of the Ansa McAl Group.
Back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. You know, that beat is so hypnotic. I can't help but move my shoulders. If I could stand up, I'll get up and do the running man. I don't know who knows what that dance is. I know I'm not old. It's just a dance of the 80s, okay? And we are back. If you hear that laughing on set, that is my sister from another Mr. Stacy Herbert.
Hi,
is
hi.
here. Oh, Mainridge Wines. Oh, my. So many things going on. So, Stacey, welcome to Brunch, a taste of Tobago.
Thank you very much.
So, tell us, what's going on? What's going on with you?
Well, Mainridge Wines and Time to Wine decided to do a collaboration.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
good.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, we decided to do an event just before the Blue Food, which is Saturday coming, right? At Time to Wine. It's basically a wine tasting event, right? So you have the opportunity to taste different flavors of Mainridge wines, different blends. And of course, you're gonna have all little brunch things that you can
to munch
you can munch on, you know, or cleanse your palate in between tasting, you know, that kind of thing. I made, I made, yeah. So we wanted to basically feature our wines. The Tobago Blue Food Festival is Sunday, and we wanted to start conversations around our wine. At the Blue Food, normally you would have people who would use dasheen and create wines, right? So I myself, coming out of that community, right? I've resided in that community for so many years and adopted it as my home. And I decided to create a dasheen wine also, right? So this dasheen wine is actually going to be one of the wines that are going to be featured at our event on Saturday.
All right, so that's the 14th.
Yes,
Saturday,
the 14th. The 14th. Yeah, so it starts at 5 p.m. at Time to Wine. Time to Wine is at Ruvenel's Resort in Bonaccord. Yeah, so you get there for 5 p.m. Of course, I encourage you viewers, please purchase your tickets in advance. We have limited space remaining, right? So it's a good idea right now to purchase your tickets.
Yeah,
purchase your tickets and secure your spot. All right, so you can contact Time to Wine, right? Time to Wine TT. We are Time to Wine TT on Facebook and Instagram. Also, Mainridge Wines on Facebook and Instagram also. Yeah. So it's quite easy to get in contact with us. Yeah. We wanted to, as I said, have conversations about our local wines and to really dispel these preconceived notions that we have where it comes to local wines.
Yes.
Right. When I started doing wines and teaching winemaking from the perspective of the Tobagonian and from the perspective of the Caribbean person using the ingredients that we have available here. I remember when I started, people were like, homemade wine, you know, and when I priced, people would be like, so expensive for homemade wine, you know, that kind of thing. But it took a lot of work and a lot of study and paying particular attention to the things that we have here in order to bring
what doesn't,
to bring the kind of international standard quality to the wines, even though we use all local fruits, flowers, and spices. You understand? So we want to begin the conversation and continue the conversation, I should say, about what we have and give people the opportunity to taste it and have a greater appreciation of it. Not only throw it back in the back of your throat, right? But really taste it and savor it and understand what you're tasting, right? Have that full experience, right? When you eat food, your entire mouth should light up. Yes, right. So we want to show people that your mouth will light up for this too, because we have paid attention and this is what we have available here, and we want to really have people start to sit back and really pay attention
Yeah,
to
and
what we have.
just get into the moment.
Oh yes,
because you want an experience. It's
Of
not
course.
just like you said, just throw it into the back of your throat.
Exactly.
You want the experience. There must be something that meets out to you. You said, well, I went to
Right.
this event and Main Ridge Wines was there, and oh my gosh, this hibiscus wine or this, you know, there
Yes.
must be something that resonates. And I
Yes.
think you guys are trying to create
Oh yes.
an
Oh
atmosphere.
Yes. Oh
yeah?
yes. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. So pairing wine with food, right? This is something that we should get accustomed to, right? Thinking about wines as a part of our entire Tobagonian culinary experience, right? Something that you should be able to have conversation about with the people who come to Tobago. This is part of us. Yes?
Oh, yes, it is.
And the Tobago Blue Food Festival, sometimes you don't have that opportunity to have the conversation about what you're actually tasting because there's so much happening around, right? So we wanted to have, for people to understand, to kind of sit back in a quieter environment and appreciate the thing.
Yeah.
You know? So,
and you know what I love about you, Stacey? You have there's a natural accommodating energy that you have. You know, and you bring that because it's natural. This is not something that you can fake.
Yes.
This is not something that you can, paint the smile on. Without the smile, be like,
yeah.
It's not like that. It's
yes.
a natural energy. It's a natural light. And I feel when you speak, and I feel when you put this light into what you make.
Yeah.
You put it into everything that you do.
Oh yeah.
And so this is something that should be savored. That's the only word I can come up with now. It should be savored.
Yes.
It's a wonderful, wonderful initiative. But what is the conversation like with regards to not just being an entrepreneur, but regards to the food industry? Wine, as you said, was not something that was revered. It's something that, it's something that we know how to do, deeply rooted in our African customs and culture, but it was never revered as what it is, a delight, a work of art.
Yes.
What's the conversation like? Has it changed since the time you started making wines?
Oh, definitely. I changed the conversation.
Okay, there you go.
I changed the conversation. I teach winemaking, and in teaching winemaking, I had the opportunity to have captives, sometimes 20. Now, when my last class was 52 persons, right? Captive audience having a conversation about our wine and our food and our ingredients and what makes it special.
Right.
You understand? So then, by having that opportunity, I was able to there are students who would call me and say, Miss, I never even thought about it in this way. I never thought that I could have created something like this. I never thought that this was possible.
So you changed the conversation.
Yes, change the conversation. And for me, that is a part of why I do a whole lot of what I do. I would like to change the conversation around what we have and kind of give us an opportunity to see ourselves in a different light and to see what we do in a different light. Yeah. We say so many bad things about ourselves.
Oh my gosh, it's
so
not even
many
funny.
bad things. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
And for me, this is my way of letting people know, listen, you real special, You know, what we do real special. Now, why is out there better than us here?
Exactly.
There's nothing better than what you have. Nobody can create it the way you create it. You understand? And I wanted to instill that kind of pride and that kind of self-assurance, that self-esteem, that listen, this is mine and I'm proud of it.
Yes.
So yeah, the conversation has changed because I have changed the conversation. I've begun to change the conversation, and it's our responsibility. in whatever space that we are in to change the conversation, change the environment to what you want it to be.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So just remind us again about the event, the date, venue, and where persons can get tickets. Because I'm sure after listening to Stacey speak on our special rhythm that we have as Tobagonians, you guys want to go, right?
Oh yeah.
So let's just retouch on your venue, date, where persons can get tickets.
All right. So viewers, you can get tickets at Time to Wine. Time to Wine is located at Rovenel's Resort. You would see the sign as you come in the gate on the right-hand side. You would see Time to Wine there. So you get your tickets there. The event is on Saturday, Saturday the 14th.
Right.
It's from 5 p.m. Right, 5 p.m. You come there, you and you enjoy the experience. But I encourage you, please purchase your tickets beforehand. Right. At this point, call and make your reservation for your tickets. Make your booking for your ticket, because we have limited space available and there are tickets that were sold before. So try and get in there.
So it's a small window.
Yes, it's a small window. Yeah.
Right.
So call as soon as you possibly can. Go on Facebook, Instagram, if you prefer Instagram. Reach out to Time to Wine. They are Time to Wine TT on Instagram and also on Facebook. Or reach out to Mainridge Wines on Facebook or Instagram.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're just getting ready to wrap. But before we do that, what would you like to say to the viewers if you had to inspire them today? What would you say to them, Stacey?
I would say in life, in our lives, the busy life that we live, all right, it's good to take a moment and breathe. Take a moment to breathe, to reflect, to appreciate, to smile, to see the world from a different perspective. Right now, there are so many things happening in our space, and we really need a moment. Yeah, we need a moment. And this event on Saturday is an opportunity to take a moment, right? To take a moment, and not just take a moment and be educated and learn about what you have and what is possible with what you have. Right? We're presenting it in the form of wine and food, but in coming to this event, you have the opportunity to interact with other people and have different conversations to what you're accustomed having, you know, because these events give that opportunity for networking, right? And I feel like you do need this time. I don't know who I'm talking to, but you do need this time. You do need this time to sit and chill, take a breath. You know?
And you say it so well. So I don't have to expand or elaborate on anything, because you said it so well. Take the time. Take a breath. You deserve it. Take a breath. And on that note, we're going to take a break. We're going to be right back with more Brunch at Taste of Tobago. Oh my gosh, Stacey, thank you so much for being with us. And I wish you so much success in what you endeavor to do.
Very, very much.
Yeah?
Thank you.
So before we go, guys, our trivia question for today. There is a great novel that was written, oh my gosh, and based on Tobago. What is the name of that novel? We will be right back with Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. Book Club is next. You guys stay tuned. See you soon.
We in Tobago for Carnival with the award-winning band Fog Angels, Juve and Mass.
You don't know it's your boy Young Brother representing for Fog Angels, Big Bad, Juve and Mass Band.
2 days of excitement, 2 days of jam on the road with Fog Angels, Juve and Mass Band.
Push back, baby. Push back and Fog Angels, baby.
We're Tobago's premium, all-inclusive Juve and Mass Band that consist of costume, free drinks, free food, goodie bags, makeup artist, t-shirt cut designer, pre-party, after-party on the beach, live DJs, biggest artists, 40-foot music trucks, tight security, VIP service on the road, and a decade of experience.
Fog Angels now. Take bamboo, gal. Fog Angels, Juve band. Take bamboo, gal. Ha! Fog Angels, Mass Band.
For your premium all-inclusive packages, check Facebook, Instagram, or visit www.fogangels.com or call 492-9454 or 788-5481. Juve and Mass in Paradise. Play safe, play sexy, play Fog Angels.
Fog Angels make you feel it, feel it.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Mount Pleasant Credit Union Back to School Loan Promotion. Loans up to $15,000. Requirements: job letter and a payslip no more than 1 month old. Utility bill, copy of book list, salary deduction, 10% down payment for self-employed persons, evidence of income and expenditure, bank statement, 12 to 18 months, other supporting document. Promotion ends October 18. Contact us at 639-8375 or 8108 or check us out on www.mpcutobago.com or email us at loans@mpcutobago.com. Mount Pleasant Credit Union's Back to School Loan Promotion. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom, fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments, complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
Good morning, Tobago. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are Tobago Updates Book Club Corner. I am Jewel Green. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for tuning in with us. Every Wednesday, we're here with a local author, chatting with them right here from Tobago Updates in Scarborough, beautiful Scarborough, Tobago. And I won't believe who we have with us today. We have with us today the very talented Cleon McPherson. And he is a co-author of the book Tobago in Print, the 2021 Tobago Medal of Honor awardee, featured at the Marshall Montano Monday Tobago Jazz Festival, featured in the Caribbean Beats magazine, and featured at Antigua's Neo Soul Soothe, and the 2019 Carmichael Award recipient. Welcome, Cleon.
Good morning, good morning. Thank you for having me.
And I must say, you and I went to the same university, right?
Yes.
I don't know if we were there at the same time.
Probably not the same time.
But we were there at the same university, right? And that's UWI Cave Hill. So shout out to all my Bajan crew, right? All my Bajan family and friends. Hi, how you doing?
I have Cleon here for you all, right? Because he did a short film as well in Barbados. Okay. So we're so happy and pleased to have Cleon with us today. What we want to do today is talk and get into the book. We talk about the literary arts, the love of the literary arts, the love of the written word, and we're going to be getting into some poet because he's a spoken word poet, right? And he is just super talented, as I said before. But before we do that, you know how we do it on Book Club Corner. We get into the wine. And today, we have with us some cassava wine from Joefield. Thank you, Mr. Joefield. And we do the 5 S's of wine tasting. We see the wine. So we look at the clarity of the wine. We swirl the wine. We're looking for legs, right? That's the sugar content. And then we sniff the wine. You get the aromas. And then we sip and we savor. This is a sweet wine, guys. So if you like sweet wines, check Joefield for their cassava wine. You will love it. I have to take another sip before we get into this book. And this month for October, you know, it's so many things are happening, Cleon. We have Caribbean Folklore Month. Right. We have Calypso History Month. And as well, we have Tobago Carnival coming up the road, right? And we're so excited. We can't get this on. We can't get enough of Tobago Carnival. We're going to get in a costume, do the juve, do the jump up, everything. Everything, yeah. We're taking in everything. So we can't wait to hear what's going on. And just to pick you, because I know she probably didn't see, Miss J Soul from earlier, she's competing in the Calypso competition for Tobago. So all the best, J Soul, when you compete. We wish you the best, all the good success, and we hope to see you on the winner's trail when we're finished, right? Because we want to take our wine to your song on the road, right? So you have a poem in this book, Tobago Imprint. Right. And that poem is called Mr. Steel Pan. Yeah. And when I saw that poem, I found it very interesting, some of the things that you wrote in this poem. And you're going to read to us because all our authors read to us at Book Club Corner, right? Page 169, right? So I want you to read for us Mr. Steel Pan. But before you read for us, tell us what was your impetus for writing this poem? Because this is an anthology, guys. So it is literally a collection of poems from 26 authors. But you have this one in here called Mr. Steel Pan. I mean, you have other works elsewhere. Yeah. But what was it that made you write Mr. Steel Pan and your ideas about carnival and about the arts?
The thing about it, I wanted to do something that would have been impactful, would have been influential, and could probably even stand the test of time. Because most of my works usually are very layered, are very heavy. And I wanted to do something that could be suited to a younger audience. Right. So even primary school children, secondary school children could, even in their, literary class could read it and understand and to get, the various history behind even Mr. Steel Pan in that sense. But it's something that even the older audiences could read and listen as well and garner something from it. So it was more of something, creating something that could be utilized within the various institutions, within the various schools. Because most times my work is more layered, more heavy, more of context. So I wanted to do something that could appeal to the wider audience.
Right. And I really appreciate when we read about this poem and you see the title of the poem, Mr. Steel Pan. It's very apropos for the time we're in, considering that Trinidad and Tobago is the originator of the steel pan. And we've had a little contention about who. Right. Who only rights to be able to make steel pans, right? And as creatives, I know that's something we deal with a lot. How do we protect our work? How long can we protect our work for before people try to creep in and take it away from us, kind of thing, right? We know we don't want to be crabs in a barrel or anything like that. But when you create a thing, that's your baby. True. That's that come from your soul. It comes from somewhere, and you need to be able to protect it. Tell me, what have you experienced in the community, in the society, just in the creative space with your work, protecting your work? Is it something that you've had any problems with, and how do you go about protecting work?
In terms of protecting the work itself, when you look, there's always a gray area exactly in terms of poetry. Persons, like back in the days, used to say, you have to send it to yourself and, write this and that kind of thing. But usually what happens is that because the protection, or even with literary works, even within the space of Trinidad and Tobago, is so in its infancy, is only until something happens or something blows up to that extent that we now scrambling to see what measures could be put in place. So, that kind of cart before the horse kind of thing. And even now, there's no grounding area where, okay, this is set up for artists or spoken word artists, or even persons who are doing poetry, sorry. There's certain elements for probably calypsonians, the soca artists in relation to cotton and that, but that has its own kind of things within itself. So there's still a lot of work to be done. It would be good even if more lawyers even partake in that field, more in that realm, to see what legislation could become in place, because I think it's only until something comes up that's big or even influential to Trinidad and Tobago that we realize that the need for more legislation to protect our work, because you're already seeing it, as you said, in terms of with the steel pan. And then the thing about it is, it's our culture at the end of the day. So if it affects one person, it affects all. So it's something that it's still in a work in progress in that element, because there's no hard or fast area to say, okay, this could be, if you add a song to your poetry, then you could probably put enter it into cut, or so it's always a kind of gray area, it's all kind of fishy area,
right?
That we still need to be explored and see where we could build and work from there.
Yeah. I like that because he's giving you some tips about some areas that you could get into. Entertainment law, right? Yeah. Don't just head into criminal law, guys. There's entertainment law, and the creative industry needs you, because
Definitely.
As he's saying,
yeah, because even in songwriting, there's a whole different element for even songs, because even if you sample a song, even with the rights with that, in terms of the royalties coming out, so there's a lot of various intricacies from the writers to in terms of the song bed to, so there's a lot of things that even upcoming artists might be even aware of. So my thing is, even when I do my workshops, even teaching spoken word, I always try to give them the various elements of the business side as well, in terms of how to do up your quotes, how to do up your invoices as well, to know how, at the same time too, you must value yourself, but one, you can't oversell yourself and you can't sell yourself short.
Right.
So it's to find that balance between and where that you could give the best product of yourself. Because a lot of us usually try to get caught up with the trend or what is happening now. And the thing about it, like 2 months from now, that trend goes away.
Yes.
And that's why I try to, tell my students, or even myself, what I do is try to create pieces that could stand the test of time, and I could perform it now. A decade from now, I could still perform it. And that is something that could last. And you realize that even in music now, where that even dancehall or calypso or soca, you realize that even the old school music from before still stands the test of time.
Yes,
and
classics.
Exactly,
yes,
and persons are even sampling those songs now. So there must be a reason for that, right?
That's so true.
You look at the different elements where that you want to create a product, you want to create something that is very influential, is very beneficial. Yeah, it's good to, the hardy wine and jam, it's good to have that kind of groove, but it's also good, even within doing that you could see if you can get a message out of it.
Right.
Because most of my content, I always try to do something light. The audience, because the thing about it now, there's a lot of individuals do heavy pieces, and which is really good. Pieces are heavy, but usually the audience tend to not revisit that after putting in a kind of certain emotional space.
It's true.
Compared to you do something light, and I tend, even if I do something light, you're still learning something from it, even if by laughing or whatever. So.
Yes. I understand what you're saying. You want longevity in your work. You want your work to be able to be used after a season, right? So you don't want the carnival season. Guys, you hear what he's saying? Don't let the carnival season be the only time that your music, your books, your poems can be used. Make sure there's longevity in it, right? Make sure you're looking at themes. Make sure you're looking at the lifespan of the topic that you're talking about, and even any beats that you're using, right? And the way that you're arranging. And the thing about music, even books, you can come back and have a second and third edition because you've done some massaging of the text, right? And you've made some changes. So listen, some very helpful tips today. Some very insightful information. And we're getting into Mr. Steelpan. Take it away, Mr. McPherson.
All right. Oh, Mr. Steelpan, your evolution could not have been stranger than your initial manifestation as an empty biscuit container. You were crafted and molded by African hands, observed prematurely accompanying tambour bamboo bands. I knew some of your founding fathers, Ellie Manette and Winston Spree, and at the spectacle known as Carnival, you are displayed in all your glee. No one could ever attest that your transition was not profound, from a simple percussion instrument to a stylistic concave oil drum. Several of your octaves emulate the acclaimed piano, and your harmonious songs can be heard emanating from your birthplace of Trinidad and Tobago. Your extensive tonal range creates a distinctive aura, which can only be experienced through a steel orchestra. At your event identified as Panorama, an epic Spartan battle can be revealed, where your warriors are uniformly attired, with mallets in hand behind chrome shields. Globally, your existence can be noted as legendary for being the greatest acoustic instrument invented in the 20th century.
I tell you, guys, this conjures up some memories, some visions, you know, of Panorama, right? Being in the savannah, waiting for, because we used to sit down outside and tailgate, right? We ain't buying tickets to go inside. It's too expensive.
Right.
So we tailgating outside with drinks and somebody truck and a few eats and stuff, and we wait. And the pans come out and they practice outside their view. So, you know, you hear what they're going to do.
Exactly.
It just is such a vibe. And I went to, for, was it Heritage? That Plymouth had their, oh gosh, folklore and something else they did with the plays and stuff. But during that whole time, there was pan as well.
Right.
Let me tell you, I went with my friends, right? And I was like, listen, guys, they're going to do the pan now. No more talking.
No more talking.
You know the thing, right? He finished his sentence. No more talking, right? We got to hear every beat, every sound, every tonal quality, how they start the crescendo, right? And then they give you the diminutive. Listen, the pan sweet, guys. Do you play pan at school? Anybody there learning pan? And you could go on as adults and play. Let me tell you, these pieces that you are writing, because you have something else to read us, right?
Yeah.
So this Mr. Steelpan, let me just ask you, do you play pan?
Yeah, well, yeah, I used to play pan.
You used to where? At school?
No, I would the Banner Redemption song session. Yeah, RBC, yeah. So I used to play
pan is a very sweet instrument. Let me ask you what you think about this. Do you feel that we as the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago have done enough to protect what we have created?
Not necessarily. I mean, more could be done. You realize that what's going on globally right now. So it wouldn't be suffice just to be having probably an annual festival, because even now, all over the world, Carnival is done, and even where Panorama is concerned, you realize that even internationally, even the diaspora now, they actually focus on pan more. There's pan in schools in that regard. So, you know, definitely something that we could look at, something that we could nurture and see, because you could ask yourself, even in the Jamaican space where you see you have a lot of sprinters, you have a lot of persons coming from Jamaica, and Jamaica is performing very well in athletics.
Yes.
Is because they have a well-structured element there.
There's investment and support.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think that's the main thing about it in terms of having whatever institutions, whether it be government or private, seeing the value of pan, seeing where it could take us, because I mean, pan has been used in various movies. You know, different elements could be used in party. You know, so it's not to say that pan is only for panorama. It could be used within the everyday of life. Even as how we have the, you know, Tobago update show or whatever, pan could be used musically, you know, for the introduction or something. So there's a lot of different elements that pan could be utilized for. So I'm not seeing it just, or persons seeing it as just for you know, annual basis. And the thing about it, sometimes not only institutions but the psyche of the players as well, because there are probably some players that think that is mostly around carnival time, you know, they play. I mean, you know, you have your usual core stage side, but usually it doesn't have as much persons as obviously during carnival time. So that's something to look at, where that you know, more investing could be done. But definitely compared to how it was to now, I've been seeing some strides being made even within the steel pan, because I think even for the Tobago Carnival, I think on the Friday, I think there's the pan and powder. So there's some acknowledgement being paid to the steel pan for sure. So there has been some steps being
and as you said, you know, it's only when we blow up and we get big, so to speak, you know, that's when we start to say, oh Lord, somebody gonna come and take this from me, let me try and, you know, shore it up. But you know, guys, Tobago Carnival is coming up. Get your costumes, join your bands, right? If it's Juve you're playing, get yourself ready, take your vitamins, get yourself sorted out. We're going on a quick break. We're here with Cleon McPherson, Tobago Imprint, guys. I'll tell you where to get it when you come back. Check us in a few minutes.
Wait, I don't even have suit and thing for this wedding. Why getting them things?
Go look put me right over there.
Alright, thanks.
The Port Mall, where the varieties are large from your favorite stores, from restaurants to salons and from clothing stores to jewelry stores, located at Sanctus Hill, Scarborough, Tobago. Telephone number is 868-334-6589.
Wow. I didn't expect to see you here. Look good.
Thanks. It's all because of you and Port Mall. But here now, I'm going to tell you, you want to join me?
Yeah, that's okay.
Alright.
Beat the rush and come on down to the Port Mall.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now, 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level.
Right now, Tobagonians are just scurrying down to Bon Accord, right in Stobie Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, 1/2 inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
We're here with Cleon McPherson on Tobago Updates Book Club Corner, and we're here in beautiful Scarborough talking about Pan. It's Caribbean Folklore Month. It's also Calypso History Month, and we're heading into Tobago Carnival. And we are going to be reading a really special piece for you. But before we get into that, right? We didn't do our cheers. We must do our cheers, right? And we have to do the eye contact. I can't tell them on air what that is for, right? All the grown-ups know what that is about. Okay, guys? And if you don't know, ask somebody who knows. That's all I have to say. But Cleon, how did you know that you wanted to be a poet? I mean, when did it come to you, right?
Actually, it didn't really come to me. I didn't even know that that was part of my calling. What happened, I think I was probably away studying. I came back to Tobago, I think just, vacation period. And a friend of mine, Jana Moses, she had her Mood Writers event.
Okay. This is in Trinidad or
Tobago? Tobago, actually.
Right.
And then I was just actually assisting, helping out, and, probably had something that I written down. Because, it had all those poems. Because I actually thought when I saw them, I just, thought it was for a bunch of squares now. Like a man like me, in that space is not my kind of thing.
Suave and sleek and thing. Yeah, that's not for you.
I did something, and then I performed it at the Mood Writers event. And, based on the reaction I got from, the audience, I was like, probably onto something. And then from there, I prepared to go down in Trinidad to perform, and then, the rest is history from there.
I like that. I like the idea that, platforms are giving us, even individuals who may not think they're into that kind of thing, right? These platforms give us the ability to explore aspects of ourselves in that creative space and figure out what we're about, whether we're poets, whether we're performers, whether we're songwriters, and we need more of those platforms. We do have one of those platforms called the Next Chapter Open Mic, and we are trying to provide that. That is through the Writers Guild.
Right.
So just putting a plug out for that. We have that coming up the end of the month, and that is one of the platforms we want to make sure it's very informal, right? You walk off the street and perform. You need not have any formal training. What they say, no experience needed, right? This is one of those things. We want to make sure that people feel really comfortable to just explore whether this is yours, whether this is for you, and to hone your skills, right?
True.
We need that space to be able to hone your skills. I mean, if you can't cut your teeth on something, how will you become great?
And you may discover even some raw talent that coming out as well. Because even when compared to from when I started to now, I've developed as an artist in general. So it's where that eventually, even as a poet, it would become a time where that you would have nearly exhausted most topics, or nearly all topics in that regard. I always try to do things that, or topics that, out of the box. Some persons would do the absentee father thing, or even when they do the domestic violence from a woman's side. But, I've took domestic violence from the man's side to show that kind of scenario as well now. So I always try to, teach my students that, always think probably outside the box. Even competition wise, where's the same theme. Look at where, from your perspective, how it could be different. How can you shape the narrative into something different, or even to something interesting? Because sometimes you are provided with topics that usually might be heavy. To unpack certain things might be as easy as it is.
Yes.
So how can you make that, to the best of your ability, interesting? So,
but that's the job of the artist, isn't it?
Definitely.
That's the job of the artist, guys. Y'all are tasked with bringing things to us in society, unveiling, unboxing, revealing topics, even from different aspects, as you're saying, domestic violence, looking at it from the perpetrators, as we would call it, point of view and perspective, because you want to make sure that you are the clear and unvarnished lens by which society can look at topics, issues, and all of these things. So I don't want you all to only stick to, and you're hearing this from Cleon himself, right? Don't just stick to the run-of-the-mill topics. And as a matter of fact, you will run out of material eventually, right?
So that's why even now I've been exploring in terms of the musicality. So you would have seen, various videos or performances with myself and friends, so even with that music side and a distinctive song. So don't be complacent in terms of where you are. Always try to develop, always try to evolve from, where you are in that sense. Because sometimes when you get complacent, or sometimes when you because as been a lot of interviews, they ask me how do you write, or what do you garner inspiration from for writing, and I always say that I don't really garner any inspiration from writing, because if you have a formula to write, then all the material will sound the same.
Right.
You know, so you always try to, you know, think outside the box, just garner that inspiration from wherever might be seen down, and something comes to you. And I think why I've been able to been in the industry for so long is that in terms of my unique and distinctive song and the various topics as well that I do. You know?
Yeah.
So it's different. The man on the street could understand and apply. It doesn't need to be a certain level for academia and for, you know, certain big persons. A normal person on the street could relate, but within that now, it's still, there's some layered content as well.
I like that idea. Guys, we're going to be letting Cleon take us into his last poem. I'm going to get comfortable. I don't know about you. I have my drink in my hand. I have a nice comfy cushion here, and Mr. Cleon is going to take us into this piece before we head out.
Yeah, just get a little taste. I won't do the whole thing. It's entitled Bikini Beads and Feathers. Guess what? It's that time of the year. Not decorated coated eggs, long-haired fluffy mammals, and bonnets neatly fastened with ribbons to little youngsters here. Not colorful flamed rockets and emblematic draped ornaments evocative of exfoliation from dreadful colonial care. Not even utile carols, obese white-bearded mortals and succulent sweltered hugs alongside portions of sorrel and ginger beer. It's time for pure revelry, embellished with scantily clad provoking partitions gyrating in the tropical pre-Lenten air. The survey says, yes, you guessed it, Tobago Carnival is here. So
we love that. Yes, we love it. Cheers, we love that. The excitement. Tobago Carnival is here. You know it, guys. When you said the exfoliation of colonial care, I mean, come on, the imagery, guys.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Right, so basically I was just touching on the various elements what happened throughout the year. So in that was relating to independence. So
yes.
You know, I talked about the white-bearded mortals, which obviously we're talking about Christmas, you know, so it was just to give that imagery of what happens throughout the year, but we're dealing with carnival at this point in time.
Yes.
So nothing else matters than the carnival.
Yeah, so you gave them a kind of year-round review, finishing at the carnival.
Finishing at the carnival, yeah.
And are you going to be jumping with any band this year?
I am too sure. My knees. You know, the knees.
You're too old, your knees hurting you?
No, I ain't too old. I mean, I could go down, but it's to come up as it might be the problem.
Stay up then, stay up, don't go down, stay up.
Yeah, there might be a problem, so that is the only thing.
We're here with Cleon McPherson, and thank you guys for sticking with us. Tobago Imprint, he is one of the co-authors of this beautiful anthology. Get this at Manasseh Enterprises in Calder Hall. It's going to be at Blue Edition in Trinidad and Tunapuna, and you can also get it on Amazon. Guys, this is a beautiful book, right? To just have on your library, a nice coffee table book, as well as to give to guests as they come and go in Tobago as you move through the space. Keep it in your handbag, keep it in your suitcase, keep it on you to read as you travel. We want to thank you for viewing. Thank you for sticking with us. This is Book Club Corner. I am Jewel Green, and cheers to you as we turn over to J Soul.
25 years of real good dashing food, delicacies, and enjoyment. Well, it come around again as we celebrate 25 years of the Tobago Blue Food Festival. This year promises to entice your taste buds again on Sunday, October 15th at Bloody Bay from as early as 10 a.m. All are invited to the celebration filled with craft, games, but most importantly, blue food. This is a brunch style celebration and will also see the likes of Super Blue, Nyla Blackman, Pretty, Gerard Balfour, Joe Archer, Keyshawn Jack, and Junior Calypso star, The Shay Saul, and more on Sunday, October 15th, 2023. Come celebrate 25 years of the Tobago Blue Food Festival.
Take your time and ride on the bike. Take your time and ride on the bike. Take your time and ride on the bike and ride on the bike and ride on the bike. She's loving the ambience of my. Somebody call the ambulance with this chick. I just long, I don't really quick. That's why she's loving me. Better bet you when it's done, you might walk with a stick. Meanwhile, you bend down, let me see you boom flick. Let me beat it up just like. I know you're loving me. When coming to I like the plenty. Sit on my riding like a Bentley. Full as I need to empty. Take your time and ride on the bike. Take your time and ride on the bike and ride on the bike and ride on the bike. Ride on the bike, ride on the bike, ride on the bike, ride on the bike, ride on the 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 bike.
We are going on a new journey. Tobago now has its very own carnival.
She like loud music and
Platinum touch.
Yeah.
Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Inner Health, number 13B Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago, with over 25 years experience offering services in and not limited to microscopic blood analysis, reflexology, and the sale of a wide range of organic herbal products used to supplement thyroid, lymphatic, heart, kidney, and brain health, and the male and female reproductive systems. Come and chat with us. Remember, your health is your wealth.
But this place is boring enough. We don't even do nothing. Let me go somewhere now.
I really want some new things, yes? Poof. Then look no further. Portmore is the place for you.
Oh, really?
Yes, you can have anything that your heart desires. Take a look for yourselves. A world of endless opportunities. Feeling hungry? Go get something to eat. Books and stationeries, games, and much more. Portmore, the island's beat.
back, guys. We are back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. Thank you so much, Jewel Green George, for joining us, Clean McPherson for joining us. You guys just witnessed the book club corner, and that is a staple of the Brunch morning show for Wednesday. And it is a beautiful Wednesday on the island of Tobago. Thank you to Trinidad for watching. Thank you to the Caribbean for watching. And of course, thank you to the world. Remember, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, the Amplian Network. So guys, DIY time. You know it's Wednesday. You know what to expect. And my next guest, I'm going to take my time and just scoot over here to this lovely lady on my right. And this lovely, talented, and very, very, very kind, I had the opportunity to speak with her before we came on. Latoya Anderson joins us today, and Latoya is one of those persons that is so very keen on really passing on the knowledge. She's really keen on teaching. So if you happen to learn from her and you get to that top level, that is even better than she is when she started teaching you, she's okay with that, right?
Correct.
All right. So a bit of sewing. Tell us what we're going to be doing today. But before that, tell us just a bit about your business or the name of your business and how you got started.
Okay, the name of my business is Toya's Designs Plus. I got started mainly because I'm very passionate about sewing, and one bit of advertising, one skirt, showing one person how to do one skirt, one bag, gave me the extra drive to actually say, here what, I can pass on the knowledge to who wants it, and they can even learn more than me. They can even teach me in the near future.
Right. She doesn't even want to look at me. She's nervous. And I'm trying to tell her, no, let's do this, Toya. Go, 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 go. So tell us what we have. What do we have here? And what are we making today?
We have a reversible tote bag, right? A reversible means you can wear it inside, outside, without even seeing a seam that it is actually stitched together,
Okay,
right?
good.
We have the inner piece, we have the outer piece, we have the handles. It's just to put it together.
Right.
Take our times, put it together.
All right. So you're the expert here. So you guide me in the direction that I should go. Okay, so where do we start?
Okay, well, I would have put some lines to guide you so that you will know. First off, you need to turn on the machine.
Okay.
Machine's always supposed to be off for safety, right? And then you take your fabric, which is this one. Right? If you notice the lines, you
I'm on? Is my machine on? Okay, good.
So if you notice, there's a line here.
I'm seeing a line, like a pen line?
Yes. So you put the fabric, place the fabric here, below the presser foot, right? I'm calling it by names, right? You take the needle, the hand wheel.
So this is the hand wheel here.
Right. The hand wheel allows the needle to move. So you gradually turn it towards you.
All right. Tell us about the pedal.
The pedal is what makes the machine sew.
Okay, good. So what am I doing? Because I have to be clear on what the process is. So we're turning
this to make the needle enter into the fabric.
All right. So
towards you.
So towards me.
Yeah. Go for it, right? And then you put down the presser foot with a little handle here.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, so it stays
like this. Right. So the feed dogs guide you. You don't need to push the fabric. So you take your time, you mash the pedal.
All right.
And you go on the line. Very good. So you can mash that a little slower so you can stay straight. And we do this until we reach the end. You're going good, man. And then we stop. We raise up the presser foot and we raise up the needle.
Okay, where's the presser foot?
That's this one.
This one right here?
Yeah.
All right.
And we raise up the needle.
So the needle is here.
Right.
So it's away from me to raise the needle, or is the same direction? You said I was turning it away.
The proper way is to do it towards you.
Towards me?
Yeah.
Okay, so we cut it right, yeah?
Correct. Then we move along to the other side. Yeah. Same procedures.
All right, guys, so sometimes we have the thread slipping out. So we're just rethreading really quickly.
Lovely.
All right, so
put down the pressure foot. And we go again.
So I don't need to touch anywhere here, right?
You are moving much faster than me, because you have the heavy duty machine.
Okay, so this one.
Raise it up, lever to the back.
All right.
And you pull it a good way so we wouldn't have that problem again. Right, we have enough thread here, so we could cut here.
Right. Oh, so that is to prevent
from reeling out on its
reeling
own.
out. Good.
So we are making the corners that allows the back to have a stand. Right? We open it like this.
Where's my corner?
Make sure it is smooth. And I would have put the tape here to guide you where to put the peak for the triangle on the edge.
All right. So I'm looking at you.
Right. This way.
And be careful to keep your thread. Make sure there's length on the thread, guys.
Correct.
So it doesn't get
Right.
So
we go straight across. Same thing with the other side.
There's enough
little
thread
more.
here.
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure that I have thread because it came out before. If we all were paying attention, it came out before, so we can't have that. Good.
Next side.
All right. So she's so nice and so kind. She's actually folding it for me. I love it. I really, really love it. These things sometimes happen. Don't let it deter you guys. So we're actually rethreading. And I want to thank Latoya for her patience. Woohoo! Boy, does she have patience.
Right.
All right, so the
Make sure it
length
is even.
Right. Okay.
And we go again.
And we're just sewing along.
Straight.
All right, cool. So, straight now? I got to make sure, you know. That's why is the pro here.
Go right out this time.
Yeah, we don't want to miss.
Nice. And then we get the scissors, we cut this excess. We don't need the excess.
All right.
To avoid the bulkness.
Oh, my daughter would have loved this. Anything with scissors, she in that.
So we flip it out. We make sure we have the corners right. Don't worry, it's the first time.
Yeah.
You did excellent, by the way.
It it's okay.
Now to get to the better part, putting the bags together. So this one goes inside, flipping it.
So open this off.
Yeah. So this one goes inside, right? So we want to get it even, right? We fold in this one, put the corners together. This is where the pins come. Next corner. We have the handles. So obviously, you know, you're going to put the pattern outside and the plain inside.
All right, so you pin
to keep it together. Makes it easier to sew. All right. We make sure it is even. All right, next side. You think you could do this on your own?
It'll take a long time, but I could try. So pinning is important, guys, because it makes it easier to actually do the stitch. Like you have an idea of where you should be stitching, yeah? And I love the fabric. I love that she's mixing the brown and the orange and the white, yeah? And we're gonna revisit my bag because this end not looking how I want it to look. So we have to revisit this, right? But other than that, it's a very wonderful attempt. And thank you so much, Latoya.
You're welcome.
For being so patient. Woo! Oh, yes. So we're doing the straps. We're putting the straps on before we get to sewing. And remember, this is a 2-in-1. This is a 2-in-1 tote. So you actually reversible tote. Yeah, correct. She just corrected me. So you can wear it on any side. And you have 2 bags in one.
Correct.
Depending on your outfits. So it's very smart, you know, cost effective.
Very, very cost effective.
Instead of buying 2 bags, you have one and it can work as 2. So let me just take the time to make sure my thread, don't want it to come out again. So we're almost done with the strapping.
Right. So we are going to put the bag together. It is always good to start from the corner, right? So you can unpin the corner and just take your time and place it below.
So unpinning from here.
And
you're putting this here.
So we have a technique, because if you stitch it like this, you will definitely close up the bag.
All right. So you
it will defeat the purpose of a bag.
Right.
Right. And we want to stitch as close to the edge as possible. Right. So key things: pins and iron to keep it neat.
So it comes to where does it stop?
We need to come straight around until we reach the same point that we started from.
All right. So all the pins need to be out at this point
in
in time.
When they reach closer to the pin, you can take it out.
Okay, good.
Some machines allow you to stitch over the pins, but to be on the safe side, and we're pressing for time.
Yeah.
So you can put down this.
Right.
And you can begin.
All right, here goes.
Straighten. And make sure you're capturing the bottom and the top, right?
Mm-hmm. Look in there.
Good. Just to straighten it a little. Go ahead.
All right.
Stop. Now you straighten the fabric. You have to continuously straighten the fabric, right?
Straighten up.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I hope you guys are watching. All right, so am I straight enough that I can continue the stitch?
Yes, you can. You're going very good.
Yeah, I have to constantly keep
Yes, you have to.
straightening because
Yes,
I
you
don't
have
want
to.
it to. I don't want it to
Right, so one strap beam, but that's okay. Remember, it's your first time.
Yeah.
Don't let it deter you.
I'm gonna get this the next time. Don't you worry. How do we lift this again? Do we use this lever?
Mm-hmm.
All right, because I feel like I need to fix. And we're taking the time because we just want to get it, you know, looking like a bag.
Exactly.
Basically. Yeah? Take it, I mash?
Yes, you can.
Straighten. Okay.
Nice. We're good to good. We're good. We're good. And voila, you have a bag. I mean, one of the straps is a little lean.
It have a little lean in the straps, kings and queens, but that is okay. The next time, J Soul is our boss. Yeah, next time around.
And all we do now is we neaten up the bags, any excess threads. If you're doing it professionally, you know, it has to be ironed properly.
Yes.
Make sure there's
And
no
we have
loose
to-
threads.
We have to come back and fix this side. That's all, yeah.
No
I don't
problem.
like how this side looking.
Well, it's for your first time. It's your first time, and I had to admit, you did very good. There are some people don't know how to mash a pedal.
I know, right?
Or even turn on a machine, right?
Yeah, I think it was fun. It was fun. So tell us where we can reach you, because I, for one, we want classes. I know a couple of people who would be willing, dying to learn to sew.
Right.
So tell us where we can reach you.
So you can reach me on Facebook at Toya's Designs Plus. You can contact me via phone or WhatsApp 793-5560. You can also check out I have a website at www.toyasdesignsplus.pixieset.com.
All right. And also, guys, like I said before, she is willing to teach. She's willing to give you guys the knowledge. For those of you watching, if you notice, very patient and very kind. J.W. Moore has never done this in her life. You know. So, That speaks volumes. And you know, we just want to thank you so much, Latoya, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and I definitely want to see where this goes. We're going to keep in contact as you progress. And we wish you blessings and success.
Thank you so much.
Yes, from our family to yours.
Thank you.
And there you have it, guys. That was Brunch, a taste of Tobago for today. And you know, from our family to yours, blessings, peace, love, and light. And before we go, remember you are joining us on Thursday, sorry. Join us on Thursday for another edition of Brunch. Before I leave you, our trivia question for today. This wonderful, great novel written in 1881 and based on Tobago, what was the name of that novel? Nobody got it? Okay, so Treasure Island. And this novel was written by Robert Louis Stevenson. I remember getting this as a present for Christmas. That is to tell you how long ago that was. And by the way, I'm not old, I'm just reminiscing. So that was Brunch today, guys. Be blessed, be merry, and remember, you are special and you are fearfully and wonderfully made. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.